For those of you who have had young children, you remember this or you know about this right now, that when you have young children, you can play a show over and over and over and over again. They never get tired of that show. It used to be we had VHS and we would play that show, rewind it, play it, and they'd want to watch that same show over and over and over again. They never got tired of it. But for some reason, when I think of Christmas, when I think of Easter and other times of the year, I'm always trying to reflect and think about something new, something fresh, instead of just reflecting upon the rerun. What the Christmas story really is, and reflect upon its validity for our life today. I was with the children today at Good News Club, and I taught them, actually we just kind of talked about a little bit about the Christmas story. And just one little aspect of it is reflect back to Luke 2:7, and how there was no room for Mary and Joseph in the inn. And so they were either outside or perhaps in the center of the inn where no one would actually sleep. But I was reflecting upon that concept again and thinking about Colossians chapter 2 and other places as well, where it talks about Christ humbling himself. How God, the Creator, the one worshipped by myriads and myriads of angels, the one who has enjoyed being the center of everything, and how he humbled himself by not only becoming a man, God becoming man, deity wrapping himself with human flesh. Not only did he do that, but the place he was born. He wasn't even born in his own family's home. He wasn't even born in somewhere that was clean. We think of how sterile and everything our hospitals are today, and I know things were different back then, but not even that. Not even having a room to stay in. But more than likely, they stayed in the very center of the inn, where all the animals were, where the very poor were, because it says there's no room for them in the inn, and nobody knew who was going to be born at that very moment. The Messiah, the one they were looking for. So Jesus was born in a humble place. Not only was his death, crucifixion very humble, his birth was very humble. Born amongst all of the barnyard animals. And as he was born amongst all those barnyard animals, we know what barnyard animals do, but we also know where they eat from. And we glorify our manger scenes. We look at it and put a halo around it, paint it nice, whatever it might be. But a manger was just a feeding trough. And that is where they laid baby Jesus. Yes, of course, they probably put some hay, and we know they wrapped him in swaddling clothes. But they placed him in a feeding trough. Where just think about the humility. Where all the animals had eaten, and all the stuff that the animals would have dropped when they eaten. And that is how humble Jesus was for us, to show that he came for all mankind. He came for the lowest of lows. He came for you and for me. And I want to encourage you this Christmas season. I know we often think about entitlement and the gifts and everything that we receive. But I want to first remind you that Christmas should be about humbling ourselves and recognizing the humble Savior who was born for you. I hope you have a good and Merry Christmas. I will do these devotionals again in the beginning of next year. And I hope you have a good New Year's and a good Christmas. Thank you for joining me.